Well, the Bitcoin ETFs, they are buying hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin again. Semler Scientific is using the MicroStrategy playbook to raise 150 million and buy more Bitcoin. The central banks are cutting interest rates. Global monetary supply is rising again. Wall Street and corporate media, well, they're actively pushing Bitcoin to boomers. It's the perfect storm, and yet Bitcoin is sitting at 71K like it's nothing. Zero hypermania. Why isn't the price going up? Am I taking crazy pills? Is Larry Fink manipulating Bitcoin's price? Hold on, touch some grass, zoom out, and just look at this 1 year chart. What do you think happens next, my friends?
Party, party, that party. Come and have a good time with G.O.D.
Hey, welcome back to the most bullish Bitcoin only show on the planet. I'm your chief propagandist, Rustin, and we got a lot to cover today. So let's get started here with Samson Mao, because I think the last bear market was so brutal that we all may have forgotten what Valhalla feels like, or just how close we are to an Omega candle right now.
The rapid movement of Bitcoin is lost for some people. They may have forgotten what it felt like in past massive bull runs where it just went up massively in a few days' time or a few weeks' time. But if you think about where we're headed into the 0.1 M range, right? 100K range. Once you're there, if Bitcoin doubles or triples, that's like 300K or 0.3 M. And if it doubles again, you're getting really close to a million. So we're already pushing up into this very high range area where millions is not crazy. It's actually very attainable. I bumped into Lawrence Lippard at the conference, and he was saying, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about your 1 million prediction, and I'm starting to see it now. It's looking very possible, because it is very possible. It's just cognitively, it's difficult for us to process what it means for Bitcoin to be $1 million a coin, because that's very far away from where we are now. But if you look at it in terms of multiples, it's not. It's a 10x from 100K, or at 300K, it's just 3x and change. And Bitcoin does these doubles and triples quite often.
That makes me think, too, those past bull runs, they didn't have the largest hedge funds on the planet, companies performing speculative attacks against the dollar, sovereign wealth funds, pensions, and, well, you see what I'm saying. This is how things, in Greg Foss's words, shout out to the legend, they go gamma. Think of where prices are now and the level of accumulation that has been taking place and is taking place right now. The ETFs combined, they now exceed 1 million coins. Just look at this Bitcoin ETF flows visualizer. That's hungry hippos right there, my friends. Escape velocity is coming. The game can only go on so long. It just takes a spark. And it's not Bitcoin that is being manipulated. I mean, take a look around. Roaring Kitty may go down as the best trader in Wall Street history. It's absolutely hilarious. But we see things, it's not David and Goliath. It's more of like King Kong versus Godzilla. Let us know what you think of it all in the comments. But Bitcoin, my friends, is an entirely different animal. As Jeff Booth says here, Bitcoin cannot be manipulated.
Most people don't know that we're in a system change from a system that is already insolvent, that only exists because of our willingness to allow others to manipulate money. You will vote for somebody who tells you that they can give you more money for nothing. It's transferring all of the productivity gains that should be flowing to society into the hands of very few. And Bitcoin removing the institution and putting it in our hands, it's the first time in history that actually can change the future.
It's not Bitcoin that's manipulated. It will forever measure the free market. It is the system in which most of the world operates that is built on a fraudulent foundation. And that fraudulent foundation being a distorted, corrupted, and centralized fiat monetary system. The base language of value. I mean, do you guys even know where fiat money came from? Do you know who John Maynard Keynes was? I can tell you. It ain't good.
You've all fallen for a Keynesian lie. I mean, this pedophile from England in the 1930s set up this system that is just a complete and utter fucking lie, which is that we have to print money in order to make things grow, in order to make the economy better. And by printing that money, we're stealing from your kids. But it doesn't matter, because in the long run, you're all fucking dead. Well, guess what? That fucks your kids. And the guy was an evil piece of shit. So the word Keynes ought to become just a dirty name. He's a bad fucking guy. Once you start there and you understand that, then you start to understand that actually sound money is what's in the Bible, what was in the Constitution, and what's good. And that because we've deviated away from sound money, we've caused ourselves enormous pain, heartache, and distress. We've killed millions of people in wars, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is the fundamental underlying issue of the entire world right now, which is we've got to return to a sound money system before we blow each other up. I mean, it's just obvious to anyone with half a brain that this is what we have to do.
That is evil, and it came from evil. It funds evil and it fuels evil. That is why Bitcoin is where it is today, because many see and they're seeking that free and open neutral money. They're all seeking the separation of money and state.
But let me tell you, the apocalypse is coming, and you're going to need a Bitcoin. At least one.
Are you a Bitcoin salesman?
No,
Curry?
no.
Did
I was very anti-Bitcoin.
Really?
I was very anti-Bitcoin until I sold a shitload of them at like $900, and I could have really
made a lot of money.
Yeah, I got them for nothing. People just gave them to me in the beginning, and I denied it. And then when you look at 10 years, I'm like, okay, I don't all the altcoins and all that stuff.
That's what I was going to say.
I don't give a shit about that.
But is there a risk in? But here's the question about Bitcoin: is there a risk in having that be the standard? Like, why can't there be competing cryptocurrencies? Like, why are we so? Do we have to get committed to one? And if we do get committed to one, is there the possibility of some sort of manipulation, the same way we've seen with all the other currencies?
Well,
when people get involved,
yeah,
money.
10 years of data have shown that Bitcoin really is the only one that you can trust.
Right.
I think digital currency that cannot be controlled and manipulated through a central banking system is something that's very, very appealing to people. Now, beyond that, I don't know. I wish I could make more profound predictions for you, but I can't. But I think that's real. Isn't everyone sick of the banking system's manipulation of wealth and power?
An idea whose time has come cannot be stopped, especially when this is the alternative.
The world is in misinformation, and they're all thinking that they have the answer in the misinformation. And they're getting pulled apart by my answer is the right answer, this answer is the right answer. And the whole system requires more manipulation. So obviously, you have to control the media channels. You have to control what people see, what they eat, what they talk about. You have to control it. It's just a structure of the information or misinformation in the system. But it is 10,000 times bigger than Bitcoin is today. So obviously, people are going to be confused.
The whole idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Free will, that's over.
Freedom will prevail, and the way we ensure it does is by taking self-custody of our Bitcoin. And that brings us to a perfect spot to recognize our sponsors, the Bitcoin Way. Bringing over 25 years of experience in cybersecurity, the Bitcoin Way is your IT team in the Bitcoin world. They'll help take you from that why Bitcoin to the how Bitcoin. From setting up your first wallet node all the way up to inheritance planning, accepting Bitcoin payments for your business. They cover all aspects of Bitcoin security and privacy. They even work with their clients to configure routers, devices, and networks. Also, not to mention UTXO management, in short for everything in Bitcoin sovereignty and privacy related. They are your go-to source. Guys, reminder, Bitcoin is not GameStop. There are a few minor differences. First off, limited supply, trading cannot be stopped. It is the bearer asset. There's like 1,000 roaring kitties in Bitcoin. There's 100 companies building on it. Corporate treasuries are accumulating it, and nation states are dollar cost averaging into it. Don't believe us? Check out yesterday's episode and plan accordingly. Bitcoin is already up 160% year over year. Is the Omega candle coming? Well, I'm convinced people's lives will be defined by whether they understood Bitcoin before the Omega candle occurred. And the global Bitcoin spot ETFs are ramping up again. QE is around the corner. Bitcoin elections are coming soon. You don't want to be on the wrong side of history, and there's more coming next week. Set those notifications, and to stay up to date with the latest and breaking Bitcoin news, you're going to want to follow Simply Bitcoin on X, the team. They're absolutely slaying it over there, and don't miss the #1 Bitcoin-only news show, Simply Bitcoin Live, coming at you Monday through Friday at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time. Hey, hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll catch you Monday. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.